All right, this video is about the Electric Voice RE27. 27. I say that, it's hard for me because I really want to say RE27. Right now I'm even confused. This is the Electric Voice RE27, not the 20, and that's a famous microphone, the RE20, but this is the RE27. Body is full, like, bright, not bright, very reflective metal, which is a little bit different than the beige, older version of the RE20, or the new version that is the matte black RE20. Anyway, we're talking about the RE27 right now. This is the ND. And really what I want to do is just give you guys a audio test of the microphone on my voice. I'm also going to compare it with some other microphones, like the Rode Procaster, and then also the Shure SM7B. I'm going to put these back down. So anyway, this microphone, a little bit how I got this microphone. I actually found it used. Someone selling on eBay, and it was a decent price for the time. And I was still kind of getting into dynamic microphones and figuring it out. And I saw a video that was comparing the RE20 with the RE27, and the clarity was different. So I was like, ooh, this sounds like it's a, I would say at that time, a better version than the RE20. Now knowing it's not better or worse, it's just different. It's a different flavor. This one has a little bit more brightness, which I thought was going to be good for my voice. But I honestly don't like it. When I got the Shure SM7B, I like that a little bit better. But that's just my preference. You might like my voice on the RE27. But anyway, I bought it used, and when I bought it used, that was the first lesson I learned about buying used. Always make sure you ask if the microphone was used or, stored in a smoke-free environment, because this thing smelled smoke. Probably, it was probably being used for 5+ years in a smoking environment. I messaged the person, and they said, yeah, they use it in bars. They use it as, I think, a guitar microphone or a vocal microphone, and it smelled like smoke. So I was like, shoot. Maybe, through time, that residue of smoke would disappear, and it wouldn't have that smell of smoke. I did that, I think, for about a week, and then I decided, okay, let's see if I can disassemble it. I didn't disassemble it all the way, because that's crazy. I don't have that knowledge of electronics. But I learned that there's like a little, right here, there's a little hole where you can get a really small Allen wrench in there, and take a screw using the Allen wrench, get it out, and then you can unscrew it. I'm not going to do it right now. You can unscrew it, and what is in front of, or at least in this capsule part, is a windscreen. And with a lot of the RE20 or the 320, or even this one, the 27, that windscreen degrades over time. I actually still have it. It crumbled when I took it out. It crumbled in my hand. So I went on eBay. They had replacement parts, so I grabbed it, and I changed that windscreen that was in the front of the capsule. Now, there's also kind of a foam padding around the components, the electrical components. I didn't take that out because to do so, you have to take, I think you have to disconnect the XLR connection with the components, and I have no experience with soldering, so I didn't do that. Luckily, taking that out and just kind of let it air out for a little bit, there's no smoke smell on it anymore. So I was very happy with that, but I learned one valuable lesson about buying used. Always ask, no matter what. So yeah, this is again a test of the RE27 ND neodymium. They use a different magnet structure, neodymium. It's supposed to make it easier or less gain to, send the audio into your audio interface. So it should be less gain heavy than, say, the Rode Procaster or the SM7B. But it's still dynamic mic, so it takes a lot of gain compared to a condenser. All right. One thing I want to do test about it is the plosives without any windscreen. So now I'm going to use a windscreen. Let me get it a little lined up. There we go. Oop, my apologies. So there we go. I also want to try something out. Here, I'm going to put this down. This is a generic rip-off of the Rode WS2. I think it's Windscreen 2. It's what you can put on the Broadcaster or the Procaster. So I'm going to put that on there, and I'm actually going to get some proximity, okay? Actually, I'm going to do that without it. So this is a test of the proximity without a windscreen. The quick... I've been saying it all day, but I can't say it right now. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. There we go. Sorry. And it doesn't go all the way in because the shock mount, which is a pretty good shock mount, is preventing it from going further in. So there's actually a little air gap that I think actually probably would help dissipate some more of the plosives. But now I'm going to get a little bit closer, and I'm kind of eating the mic now. So, the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. All right. I apologize. Keep on hitting the stand. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and grab the other mics for comparison. All right. Stand by. All right. Now we're doing a comparison between the Electric Voice RE27 and the Rode Procaster. These two microphones, you can definitely say that they are similar in style. The Electric Voice came out before the Rode, so you could say that Rode kind of took the style of the Electric Voice RE line and kind of adopted it. Yeah. So yeah, this is just a comparison between these two. Funny story about, microphones and how, heavy they can be. These are both very heavy microphones. I was trying to make a podcast with my friend when it was, when the new decade was coming, so 2020, and we were setting it up. I had the Procaster as mine, and then they had to share us some 58s. And while I was setting up, I accidentally hit the side of the stand for the Procaster, and it fell onto my computer, and the edge of the shock mount hit directly onto my laptop at the time and made a dent. And I see that every day when I open my laptop to go to work, I see that dent, and it just bugs me. So be mindful about the weight of your microphone because they are sometimes hammers. So they're both very durable, is what I'm also trying to say. Just a comparison between these two. I apologize for plosives. These are pretty close and they're directly into my mouth. I'm going to actually probably put the windscreen on. I'm actually going to get two. Oh no! Okay, now that I got the two windscreens on these microphones, I left a little air gap. Like the RE27 has the air gap because of the shock mount, I kept a little air gap for the Procaster just to keep it competitive during this comparison. Now, I think I've said mostly everything I want to about the RE27. One thing. Both of these microphones are going into a SSL 2 Plus. They're both cranked pretty high, but they're not at 10. They're pretty competitive. They're about probably a 9 if there was a 9, dials on there. Anyway, they're pretty. The preamps are cranked. Now let's talk about one thing that bugs me about Rode manufacturing. This is a great shock mount right here. This is a great shock mount for the Procaster. It really is. It's a solid metal frame. I love it. It's great. But you know what it doesn't do? It does not work with the Procaster. This little LED, switch for the high pass filter, this prevents this microphone from fitting into this right here. What you have to do is modify this. You're going to have to take like a sander or some type of, maybe even a Dremel, cut through the inner component of the shock mount, the thing that holds, that mounts to the microphone. You're going to have to take that out, take a Dremel and cut through the metal to get a little slit so this part of the Procaster can fit into that shock mount. Yeah, it's very annoying. Very, very annoying. But yeah, hopefully this comparison helped you. Now let's compare the RE27 with the Shure SM7B. All right, now this is a comparison between the RE27 and the Shure SM7B. I think more people know about the Shure SM7B over the RE27 ND. Both of them are pretty popular broadcast microphones. I think the Shure SM7B has probably gotten more popular, especially with streaming. But people still use the RE27 ND because I think the Waveform podcast from Marquez Brownlee, he uses the RE27, while his co-host uses the Shure SM7B. The one thing that I like about the Shure SM7B is you can really eat the microphone and get into it. I think you can do the same thing, but the low end of the Shure SM7B, I like. It's like taffy, I think. It's really smooth and it's really good. Now, it might be too deep for my voice and might not actually flatter my voice at all. And actually maybe take, I think, some energy away from my voice. I've made some videos. I'm a teacher, so I've used the Shure SM7B when I had to make some videos for my students. And I remember them commenting on how it seemed like I was tired or sad when I was making it. I was like, no, I think I just made it early in the morning. That's probably why. But I might not have enough energy or seem like I'm putting a lot of energy into the Shure SM7B, while the RE27 might give me that energy compared. So, yeah, they're both great microphones. I think it goes on, personal preference. What do you think looks better? The Shure SM7B is, I think, a very iconic looking microphone, but this shock mount with this microphone, and if I take the windscreen off, just looks like you're ready to do a radio show. So both of these are great microphones. Hopefully this helps determine if you like one or the other. Yeah, and if you have any questions about these microphones, please put in the comments. I'll try my best to answer them. Yeah, I hope that worked, guys. I appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful day. And if you're watching this in Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. See ya.